afternoon, live from Toronto on the GBKM network. This is the Chat Up Show, the show where we catch you up with the chat up of our weekly headlines. I'm your host, Elizabeth Aloyde, and I hope that you are ready to chat it up with me today. Now, as always, you know you can keep up with the GBKM network in various ways. You can listen and watch live 24/7 at www.gbkm.tv or www.gbkm.fm, where you can also catch up on any past shows you may have missed, check out our upcoming show schedule, learn a little bit more about our on-air personalities. You can check our breaking news tab to learn about some global breaking news and all of that good stuff. You can also download our free app. Make sure you do this because you get all the exact same features that are on our website, but one added thing is that you get notified every time we go live, so you'll never have to miss a show again. So this app is free and available for all iOS and Android devices. So make sure you go download that right now, okay? And let me know that you downloaded it so I can give you a little round of applause, a clap. Well done, good job. So as well on our app, you know, past shows you can catch up on if you have missed them. You can like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You know, the usual around here. As well as the app, you can also continue to watch us on Facebook at GBKM Network and YouTube at GBKM Network, where you can continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram at GBKM Network and Twitter at GBKM Network to catch up with any news and updates so you won't miss out on anything that's going on with us at, you guessed it, the GBKM Network. Now, this show, I'm so excited, y'all. I can't even lie. I'm excited, number one, because I got my girl in the studio with me. My guest co-host, Chelsea Okonji, who is also the host of The Discussion right here on the GBKM Network every Saturday at 4 p.m. So make sure you tune into that. But today, honey.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for having me on the Chat Up Show. And then we're going to get right into it to chat up and see what's going on. I'm sure you guys are just wondering what we're going to be talking about. Don't worry, we're bringing you all the tea.
Don't worry. And right on that cue, we're going to take a really quick commercial break before we get into the tea. Okay, so stay tuned.
This is not your regular show. It is an interactive section powered by the masses.
You go to Nigeria, you wake up, you go come. I just said now, I don't go to Nigeria.
Where we discuss issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. Slices of humor to keep you entertained and thrilled. We are the GBKM Street Talk Team.
Hello and welcome back to the Chat Up Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Aloyde, and I'm joined here with my guest co-host and host of The Discussion, Chelsea Okonji. Yes, so before we went on a break, talk about all the tea we finna spill. You know when we get together, we always tea.
You already know.
You already know what's gonna happen. And this week, we're gonna be diving into the topic that's on a lot of people's minds. It's the first 2 episodes of the new web series, Blue Therapy. Now, this is a series that comes from the same creators, Trend Central, as those of Backchat London, Backchat Houston, Backchat New York, if you were about that life. And they're bringing up this new thing, Blue Therapy, which 2 couples, they're in couples counseling, premarital, so they're not married or even engaged yet, they're just in a relationship.
Just a relationship.
Yeah, and they're essentially going to this therapist who they're hoping will help them deal with their couple issues and whatnot. I think a lot of people can benefit from couples therapy.
Exactly. A lot of people can also relate to like what they're doing, because it's like, I don't know, you're in a relationship and then things are not working out. A lot of people would want to seek therapy. So they decided to film it and put it on YouTube for everybody to see. So we're going to be talking about what we think about it. There are 2 main couples, right? The first one is
Paul and Chioma.
And we know Chioma from
Backchat. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like she said, if you had watched Backchat, you already know Chioma. And the second couple, Deborah and
Jamel.
Exactly. So, they have two different stories, right?
Yes.
We're just going to be talking about it. Let's get right into it.
We should get right into it. Okay, so there's some things around the whole blue therapy situation that we're gonna kind of get into first before we get into the individual couples. And there's, you know, rumors flying around that it's not real, that it's a social experiment that's been put together by actors.
There's that.
That the therapist who is, you know, playing the therapist is actually just an actress who has a long list of credits.
That pisses me off. Let me just start off like that because I feel like that's just playing with your emotions. If I still don't believe it's acting. I still don't believe it's not real
raw.
because it's too, like, there was so much emotion. Like the fights, the little things, it was so real. Maybe the therapist wasn't real, but can she even do that? That's like,
it feels like when a doctor doesn't actually have
I know.
like qualifications
that's
to
just,
diagnose.
but she was going along very well.
Yeah.
Then was everything scripted?
Yeah.
Did she know like what exactly to say?
She did say that she's not here to like diagnose anything. She's just here for them to talk through their problems so that they can like bring it up and then work through it together.
But even handling like how you know, how rude Paul was coming across, I was like, this woman has to have earned her degree somewhere,
some way.
Because it couldn't have been me. Let me just be honest. Like, Paul couldn't have been speaking to. I would have.
First of all, this man snapped his fingers at her, talking about
like,
I deal in figures. Answer the question.
Answer the question. I was like,
pardon?
Sir, who are you speaking to? Like, let's hold on. Let's reel it back.
Let's back
Sir,
up.
even Chioma, she was like, "Oh, you're being rude." But that just goes to show how the dynamics in some relationships are. And people are like, "Oh, she should have seen this. She knew what she was getting into." I'm like, no.
You don't always.
You don't always know.
Yeah.
One, they've been together 2 years. These issues only started 6 months in. So basically, what that means is they started living together, and then a lot of more issues started coming out. And I'm like, you don't always know because let's be honest, when a guy wants to talk to you in the beginning, he's the nicest person.
So charming.
Oh my God.
We'll be dropping down all the loves and love. All the emojis, good morning, beautifuls, putting on the romance. Listen, we're not bitter. It's just the truth. When you're trying to toast somebody, you put it on extra thick in the beginning. And then when things start to get a little more comfortable, you know, you've gotten into the flow of things. You even live together now.
There's familiarity.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
That's when you start to see true colors.
Then this person is at home. I don't really need to do so much. I feel like that's what was happening in the case of Paul and Chioma. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing play out. So
yeah. So okay, before we get into Paul and Chioma's situation, that's the nicest way I could put it. Let's talk about Deborah. Now, Deborah. I don't want to call her out on anything, but Deborah is a woman who knows what she wants.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
And I actually appreciate her for that. I actually, despite everything else, I'm like, at least you know what you want. Yeah. She's a woman who is sure of what she wants. I'm not sure about if she's sure of herself, but definitely sure about what she wants out of a man or a relationship. We give that to her.
Yes, she wants that Prada bucket hat, the Gucci bags,
there you go,
the Louis, the Fendi,
lunch at
the luxury of it all.
Yeah.
Yes, lunch at Hakkasan. Yes.
Listen, I don't have a problem with that.
No.
That's like having very high standards. What I have a problem with is the fact that she has these standards for another 27-year-old guy. I don't know if she thinks by 27 you should have your stuff all together.
I mean, she said that if you want to be in a relationship, you need to get your money up.
Okay.
And if you haven't gotten it up, then you shouldn't be in a relationship.
You shouldn't be in a relationship. I mean, I don't think it works that way. This is also her first relationship. Let's be honest. Like, we're not trying to judge her or throw her under the bus, but it's not realistic for you to want. He said he bought her a Gucci bag, and then 2 weeks later, she wanted to go to, she wanted to take a trip to somewhere, to some island. 2 weeks later, Gucci bag is not cheap.
Lasso. Gucci.
It's not cheap. They're in England, that's pounds.
Pound sterling.
2 weeks later, what does he do for a living? I mean, what do you mean?
He's a personal trainer, right?
Yeah, he's a personal trainer.
He's a personal trainer.
He uses like online platforms that the guy cannot afford it. It's not even the guy, he can't provide it. He's like, oh, I'm saving for a house. I would think that's what most girls would want.
And that's exactly someone who's like looking towards the future with you, trying to build something up.
Nope.
No, and her justification for it was that my father has spoiled me and treated me like a princess.
That's another thing.
Which is why I'm like, is it justified for you to expect your partner to treat you the same way that your parents have, or provide for you the same way as your parents have, especially in the early stages of a relationship when you're still both young, you're still building yourself up, you're still on the come up. Like, I would never in my life, honestly, expect for anyone that I'm dating at this age, at this time of my life, before 30s, to buy me the kind of things that my father would.
Okay, I like that you said at this age. I like that everything you said. Is it right for you to expect your partner to give you that life? I would say yes and no. No, in the sense that when you're still in your foundation, like in your 20s, no, I don't think a guy in his 20s can give you the life that your father gave you. Your father that has already established himself. You don't know what your dad was doing in his 20s. Like, you don't know if he had blown that hard or anything. Like, for you to expect that for somebody so young and someone that is still trying to put their lives together, I think that's a bit unfair. But for you to expect that moving forward, honestly, my advice to Deborah is to find a suitable young man of another age who has established himself. Say young.
Less than 40.
Yeah, that kind of young, or maybe more than 40.
Maybe more than 40, whatever floats your boat.
But you can't have it all. You can't want somebody that's in his 20s that is going to provide that lifestyle for you and keep it up, that is doing a legitimate business and that has, I don't know what you want. But if that's your mentality at 24, I would like to see what it will be at 26, because sis,
life comes at you hard.
It's about to be real. But like,
I mean, what I will commend her for is like knowing what she's worth. And communicating that, saying like, listen, this is what I expect from you as my partner. This is what I want, and I'm not getting it. However, you realizing that you're not getting it and he's telling you why you're not getting it. And it's not that she's not getting it, period. It's that she's not getting it as frequently as she would like.
Yeah. That's the thing. She's not getting, so it's not like he's not pulling his weight or doing anything. She did mention that she's not even getting the occasional flowers or anything. One thing I would say, because it's not all on her, he was late, right? She mentioned that being late was a big deal. I didn't really think it was such a big deal, but like, everyone is different, right? It might be a big deal.
But it's part of her love language, quality time, that it's like showing that you're not really taking my time. Like,
and then another thing was she said he doesn't spend time with, they see once every 2 weeks. I was like, girl,
I get it. I get it.
I kind of understand that. Like, I wouldn't want to see someone I'm dating once every 2 weeks. That's, you see your coworker's mother. I'm just saying.
More than that.
But he had a valid reason, but I understand. I'm like, okay, that's not cool. You kind of have to make some time for her. And then the one time they speak, he has Clubhouse playing in the back. I'm like, bro.
But you know what actually I was a little surprised about was the fact that he was the one that reached out to the therapist to go
I was really
seek
surprised
help.
about
Which,
that
you know, a lot of times you don't hear about men who are like, okay, let's actually go get the professional. Because on the side, Mr. Paul,
he mentioned he had been in, not Paul, but Jamal had been in therapy 8 months prior. So I thought that was really, like, it was really good to see that a guy would go and it helped him. And he brought his girlfriend as well to see how they can work things out.
Especially as a black man too. Like, we talk about this a lot.
I was trying to avoid saying that, but
no, but it's the truth, honestly, though. Like, within our community, like, we talk about, like, mental health a lot. We talk about how it's important to, like, seek the help that you want. And for so long, there's been this, like, stereotype or stigma, whatever. You have to be, like, strong always. And that seeking that kind of help means that you're weak or you can't do it alone. Or you have to go to pastor. Like,
Pastor, Mr. Paul. You know what? I'm not sure of Paul's background, but I'm fully convinced he's a Nigerian man.
Nigerian.
Nothing can tell me.
Nothing can tell me otherwise.
He said, okay, for some backstory, just so you know what we're talking about, Paul wasn't very forward with, he wasn't too pleased with the idea of going to therapy. It was his girlfriend's idea, Chioma, right? She's the one that wanted to go to therapy and then brought them to the therapy that was filmed for everybody to see. So Paul would have rather gone to a church, like he said, to fix their issues.
He would have rather gone to a pastor. I mean, honestly, I can't hate on that because, you know, before certain people get married, they do go to the church and they do get the couples counseling before you can get married in a certain church, which is like common practice in a lot of places.
Right.
Sure.
Premarital couples therapy is different from therapy for your relationship. To like, she was saying she wanted this to be shock therapy for him so that he would realize that there are problems in the relationship. I feel like he just wanted to go to a pastor who would tell him, and I'm not saying that this is what their pastor does, I'm just saying, who would tell you, you know, go home, pray about it, seek God's face, which you should do if that's really like what you're going to do. But having someone else tell you the harsh truth is what Paul was not ready for.
No.
Off the bat.
He was not ready for it. And he almost let it be known from jump
He
that
did,
he wasn't going
actually.
to listen to
He was
what
like,
she was saying.
okay, this is a waste of time. I'm going to show you in the end and say, like, you know, I told you so. I'm like, going in with that attitude, you're not even going to be able to get anything out of it. And then I feel like Paul has a comprehension in a way that
is the nicest way you could put it, honestly.
I'm trying. In a way that, like, you know, what she says is not exactly what he hears.
Yeah.
For instance, there are so many instances, in fact.
Okay, but let's dive into the fact that he doesn't like the way she, quote unquote, conducts herself on her Instagram page. He doesn't like when she answers men's comments under her pictures. He doesn't like her to be dancing in a certain way. Just, you know what, actually was just dancing.
Yeah.
Publicly for people to see.
Yeah.
But he sees no problem in him going to clubs to entertain clients and bringing girls.
High net worth clients. High net worth.
High net worth. Ah, sorry, we forgot that one.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
High net worth. He let us know multiple times that he hangs out with high net worth clients. He works with high net worth individuals.
Yeah.
Creatives, as he put it. So he doesn't see an issue with him going to the club and entertaining these high net worth clients and bringing girls and popping bottles and living life like large and
spending
a
lot of money.
No issue there. But he has a problem when his girlfriend, who is an influencer, and that's how she makes her money, engages with the comments under her posts to the point that he even claimed that her brand is his brand.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact that he claimed that. And he's, from what I got, his reasoning behind that is because he takes the pictures. I was like,
y'all,
I feel like there's
something's disconnected.
Yeah. He's like, he takes the pictures that Choma doesn't know that she thinks Skittles just, I was just
He
like,
said that she was the product and he's the brand because he's the one taking the pictures.
But she checked him real quick. She's like, when those contracts come, it's not Paul and Chioma. It's Chioma. Like when they send those you know, contracts, it's not and co. I feel like the life he wants to live is what his girlfriend is living, and maybe he might
a little jealousy,
just a little bit.
Do you think he's feeling a little emasculated?
Yeah,
just
definitely. A bit. If this was real,
yeah.
Because he seems like a person that is so bothered by his image and he wants to like protect that at all costs. So something like, I was just like, if that's the case, then why would you do this? Like, why would you do this and put it, it's a social experiment. You know that people are going to talk about it. Why would you, well?
I mean, it's your life. You can do whatever you want, but you're going to expect people to have a reaction to it when it's on public platforms like this. But my thing with this whole Paul and Chioma situation is just it's hypocrisy at its finest. Please, how can you, the person that you met on social media, now you have an issue with how she's conducting herself on social media?
And the thing is,
that's what drew you in. How are you now confused and surprised by it?
She's not even, if you go through her page, it's not even like she's posting a lot of thirst traps and I just feel like she's being a girl in the 21st century that is just embracing her. She's beautiful. Like she, according to her, this is what I don't like. She said that she has held back a lot of opportunities and held back a lot of things because of him. In my opinion, you shouldn't be with someone who is going to hold you back. If the person is not going to be able to uplift you and just cheer you on and all that, it's not going to work. Like there will be a lot of resentment seep into jealousy, it's just going to snowball into a lot of negativity and it would affect you mentally as well. So in this case, I just felt like that's a no.
It's a red flag at the end of the day. But we're like, I want to just put out the disclaimer that we're just judging from what we're being shown.
Yeah.
And this is all we know about their relationship so far. It's this in this social experiment.
Yeah.
I'm sure the reason that they've managed to stay together for so long,
there
are some good parts of their relationship. I mean,
Definitely.
the point that she even says she doesn't want it to end. She's in love with this man and she wants to, she sees a future with him and she potentially wants to get married to him. So I'm sure that there are good qualities. But from what we saw, Paul, buddy.
I feel like if he's open to work on himself and hear her out a little bit more, it would be able to work, because it seems like that's the type of guy she wants, and it's been working for about 2 years now. Driving me now, those things that you saw in me, those are the things that you're now complaining about because things are different. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's. It could be this and that. Because yes, it's true. Sometimes the thing that attracts you to somebody could also be the thing that repels you from them sometimes. But in this case, I feel like the reason why he has allowed it, why it has gone on for this long, is because he didn't make any compromise. From what we were shown, it looks like she's the only one that compromised a bit. Okay, I don't want to exactly be a housewife, but I can do the dishes, clean, cook, fine. Okay, I don't want to do this, but I can do this. He doesn't want to compromise at all. You still go out like you're single.
Yep.
You come back home,
you spend money
like you're single when you're supposed to be, as opposed to Jamal that was saying, I'm saving for 2 now, I'm working towards us now. It seems like Paul is still taking the whole fake it till you make it to like another level. Yeah. And Chama is like, she's the one that is suffering from it. She doesn't get attention, and he's mismanaging the funds. So I feel like, yes, he was the same way, but he hasn't made any compromises. Maybe he doesn't realize yet that relationships are like, there has to be a balance, give and take. So that's my take on that. What do you think?
I think, with that situation, people change.
Yeah.
And when you get to know them, initially when they're hustling, it looks good from the outside.
That's true.
Until you're the one that's being put like on the back burner for a bit.
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
Yeah.
From experience, it's hard.
Yeah.
And especially when you are used to that affection and that love and that attention, and you feel that you're not getting it from the person that you desire it most from, because they're busy entertaining high net worth clients, they're busy going to private clubs, spending tens of thousands of pounds on the weekends to entertain these gals and pals of his. You start thinking, like, is it me? Like, why doesn't he want to spend time with me? Why doesn't he want to bring me more into his life? Like, why isn't he, putting in that attention, love and energy that I was getting before? And that's something that she even brought up, that she thinks the reason that he gets so upset about her social media posts is because other people are giving her the love and attention that he isn't. And he's seeing that happening, and he's probably thinking, like, why are you loving up on my woman? I don't even love up on her that much. Well, maybe you should.
Maybe you should. I feel like they become so familiar. And this happens, this is why I think it's very relatable with so many people in relationships.
Especially in this day and age when we bring in the social media aspect.
I see a lot of men don't want women that are out there.
No.
I would just put that out there now. I feel like not every man can handle a woman that is quote unquote out there, or putting herself out there and being sexy and all that.
Only for them.
Yeah, only
behind
for
closed
them.
doors.
But you will go and look at it like other women that are being this way too. I don't know. It's like, you met me this way.
Yeah.
Now, why do you want me to stop doing the thing I was doing when you met me?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't suit you anymore? I feel like if the tables were turned, if Chama requested for him to stop doing the things
Isn't that what you kind of requested? And he blew up on her, though.
Yeah, he's like...
He stormed out of the whole thing.
He stormed out.
He flipped the question on the therapist. He was asking the therapist what her success rate was.
That's why his comprehension
And then he got so angry when the therapist asked, okay, so what is it that you do exactly? Because your girlfriend is complaining about not getting attention.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why is that important? Well, I mean, if it's affecting your relationship and you're here to build and like fix whatever issues are in your relationship, and your girlfriend is quoting your business hours as what is, hindering your growth, then maybe what you do for a living comes into that. Just a thought. No shade.
But he was like, the therapist asked, do you think you're giving Chioma enough love? And he said, yes, we live
We
together.
live together. Chelsea.
Please.
Roommates live together.
That's what the therapist said, and he was like, we live together.
That's love.
You know, that's
That's love.
a bit of a red flag.
That's
I just feel
affection.
like that's
Because, like, what does that even mean?
they live together. Maybe that's what he understands as love. You can't really take it away from him. Maybe that's his
That's what he
understanding,
understands,
but that's not very nice. I would like to say, like, it's not something. I feel like every woman wants attention and love.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think there are any women out there that don't have the love language of quality time?
I really don't think. Is your love language quality time too? Girl, yes. Yes.
Like, if there are any women out there that...
Please let us know.
Please.
And tell us how you're doing it.
Because I feel like quality time should be just the norm.
The norm
of the
for all
love
relationships.
language. And then you start with you pair it with the rest.
Others,
It could
yes.
be gifts, like Deborah. It could be anything else. But
You know what? I'm so glad you brought up the love languages, because I think what's happening with both of these couples is that they are not understanding the significance of a love language. And I think
Right.
that happens with a lot of people, that we
Right,
think
it
that it's
does.
just another buzz term of
Yeah.
the decade, I guess we could call it, that, oh, it's just another thing that we're saying to get our way in relationships. But no, like, if this is the way someone feels
to be
loved,
loved,
or
yeah.
even shows their love, is also important, because you need to recognize the way your partner shows love too, because that's the love languages. That
Exactly.
if their way of showing you love is gift giving, and you're the kind of person that does not like gifts, maybe that's something you want to discuss.
yeah. But I feel like that's more for the partner to take. You can't, I can't give someone my love language and expect them to be okay with it if it's not their love language. So you have to kind of listen and be attentive and know what this person's love language is. For example, if the man likes to eat and that's his love language, and I hate cooking, if that's the case.
Girl, Uber Eats is right there.
Bruh.
I do not need to cook.
But only to appease the situation, I would cook for that reason.
Romantic special occasions.
Right. I don't think that was the best example. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You should just you should
Compromising.
just like, compromise, right? Like, know what the love language of the person that you're with is, and just work on that and work to like build that up. So it will be better.
Yeah, yeah. With that, we are going to go on a really quick commercial break. And when we're back, we're going to continue discussing this blue therapy situation. And we're going to touch on Bill and Melinda Gates' divorce as well. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
This is not your regular show. It is an interactive section powered by the masses.
Why you go to Nigeria? You wake up, you go come. Ask yourself now. I don't go to Nigeria.
Where we discuss issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. Slices of humor to keep you entertained and thrilled. We are the GPKM Street Talk Team. This is not.
Hello and welcome back to the Chat Up Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Eloidy, and I'm joined here with my guest co-host of today, Chelsea Okonji of The Discussion. You know, you can tune into The Discussion every Saturday right here on the GBKM network at
4 p.m. every Saturday.
Yes.
All right.
Now, we were talking about blue therapy and, you know, the topics that were brought up amongst the couples, Deborah and Jamal, and Paul and Choma. And I feel that, you know, yes, we're coming a little hard for Paul there. I'm so sorry. But like, you know, you put it out there for us to do. You know, and we are only 2 episodes into this.
Right.
There is going to be a new episode that's going to be coming out, and in that we saw a little preview of you know, Choma's a little upset about Paul's sister dropping off the children. And I was like, it's a little dicey when it comes to family, especially if you're planning on marrying into this family.
Yeah.
And like, that's going to become your family too. Like,
I know. I felt a way about that, but again, you can't really judge per se because we don't have the full picture. There's like a lot going on in their relationship. There's a lot going on in relationships anyway. But it seemed like what she was talking about was she wouldn't like to have his sister's kids around as often, or his sister, right?
His sister's kids,
his sister come by. And if you go on her like Instagram page, she's replying messages saying it will be better if his sister doesn't come. I'm like, I don't really know how to feel about this. I would wait for the episode completely so we can get some more like context as to what happened. But
just from like the snippet that I saw, I was like, whoa.
I was like, okay, that's tricky.
That's
because
tricky,
family is
like that's a dicey, and even family was brought up with Jamal and Deborah as well, where she's like feeling a way that he doesn't want to introduce her to his family because she's loud.
See that?
You know what? No, wait, hold on, Jamal. I gotta come for you for a second because he said she's Nigerian, she's loud. What's that supposed to mean, Jamal?
Girl, you're being loud.
What's that supposed to mean, Jamal?
It means Nigerians are.
We are animated.
Very animated, that's true. But we also know how to conduct ourselves in front of parents. Like, you can't be doing anyhow in front of someone's parent. But then again, it's his relationship and he knows the babe. So we don't know the babe. I just think that
was just that statement. I just think that she's Nigerian, she's loud. I was
that's not it. I feel like that's an excuse. Like, if you want to introduce someone to your family, you will. Is she ever going to stop being loud for him to? Like, when is she going to stop being loud for him to be okay with introducing the... That's just an excuse, in my opinion. If the guy doesn't want to introduce you to his parents, he's not ready. That's just it. Like, simple. He's not ready. They've only been dating 1 year. Maybe he's not completely sure of the relationship. I'm just speculating here.
But it could be very valid that he's still trying to figure out if this is someone that he genuinely wants to be
bring
with.
home to
which
his
is
parents.
Which is completely valid, like understandable. But like I think what's lacking is that communication aspect of it, where he's telling, like, listen, like, we're still seeing where this goes. Maybe that's not what she wants to hear.
Most likely not.
You know, so he's probably trying to figure out another way to ease it up.
But saying someone if you're loud, that's like
and then adding the nationality, that one.
No,
I vexed.
The Nigerians, I was like, bruh. Okay.
I was a little upset. Now, finances was something that was brought up quite a bit. And, you know, with Deborah, who wanted her man to be buying her luxury brands, which a lot of people came for her for. We touched on that a little bit at the beginning of the show. And then also Paul, who was saying that he doesn't need to let Chioma know, like, she doesn't really know what's going on in his crypto accounts.
High interest earning crypto
Sorry, yes, that's what
you need to get it right.
The high interest.
He let us know. High interest earning crypto. Okay, I have a question.
I have a question for you. Let me ask my question first. Okay, thank you. Do you think that it's necessary for partners to disclose their financial standing?
Absolutely.
In a relationship?
Absolutely. For the relationship. How soon? Well, how soon? Not 2 years later, I'll tell you that much. But like for the relationship, it depends. If this is something you're going to be, if this is like a serious relationship and you're looking at long-term, maybe marriage or something, I would say finances are something you need to discuss ASAP. Because if you're going to be working as a unit, especially if you've moved in together, you need to talk about finances. You need to know who earns what and how you're going to, because
split responsibilities. In
the end, if you don't talk about it, some things will just be, what is left unsaid will just start festering and it will...
It's like, did you ever watch Love is Blind?
I don't think so.
So it's a Netflix original series where a bunch of couples blindly fall in love and get married on a whim. And there was this one girl who was in debt.
She was in debt, but she's still married.
They didn't find out until like
until like later. Like the guy that he was also.
I mean, he had his own issues too.
Yeah, but he accepted her, right? Like he accepted her already, but he didn't tell her she didn't tell him she was in debt. Yeah. And I'm like, that's kind of something you want to bring up, let someone know.
Because when you get married, your debt is their debt.
Yeah. And imagine if you marry someone, even just regardless of debt, just like financial habits. What if you're someone who has been building and trained yourself to be financially like frugal and things like that, and then you marry someone who is lavish and who is just going to, who has no financial discipline. You're going to be, that person is going to run you down quickly, like in a minute, and all that you've worked for will just be, and before someone starts building financial discipline, takes some time.
Yeah.
So I really feel like you should discuss your finances. You should budget and plan, especially if this is a long-term relationship. It also helps with expectations.
Yes.
So you don't have all these expectations of the man buying you all that you want all the time.
Yeah.
And then you can plan your dates, you can plan your... The question I wanted to know is it really true that guys don't show girls like what exactly is in their accounts?
From what I've seen, even on Backchat, that was a topic that they discussed. And there was one guy who was like, she doesn't need to know, but I need to know how much she makes. She doesn't need to know how much I make. Which I thought was a little, like, how would that work?
How would that work?
But I do like that you brought up expectations, because I think that's what it really boils down to. When you know where you both stand financially, then you can adjust your expectations accordingly. But because a lot of people stunt for the gram, but their bank accounts don't match.
That's what Shoma was saying about Paul.
Yes, exactly. Faking it till you make it, and then next thing you know, you're in debt. And that's happened with a lot of these influencers that we watch and we see. Because they get their stuff for free, but like then after a few months, they're like homeless because they haven't like managed their finances properly. But they're looking like they're living this lavish lifestyle because they're wearing all of the latest brands. They're going to like Dubai on yachts because someone else is paying for that free vacation. So then you get into a relationship with someone like that. You're thinking that, oh, this is someone that's going to treat me nicely. Maybe I can quit my job. Could never be me. Maybe I can quit my job. I know. I was like, even when I said it, I was like, bruh. But like, maybe I can like relax a little bit more. Because even Deborah, she was saying that she still works her 9 to 5. So it's not that she can't do it for herself.
She just wants
her man to do it because her daddy treated her like that as well.
Yeah, girl, you need to go back to your daddy. Because like, I'm just like, oh, Deborah is different. He asked her about savings, and she was like, we're not getting into that. We're not talking about that. I feel like the simple answer, if you save, would have been yes. You know, if that's something that you have a habit of doing. If you're not doing it, then you give a shady answer like that. So, I don't know about that. If you don't save and you're expecting so much from the guy, how do you intend to
Because it's even for like protection for yourself too. Like, this relationship could end tomorrow, and you are just living like paycheck to paycheck, whatever, and it could leave you in the lurch. Like I'm sorry, you're not married to Bill Gates. Let's be honest. Like speaking of, we're gonna get to that really soon. You know, like you still need to like have something
security blanket,
like a safety net of some sort. And I think
not that the relationship is your paycheck, but you know.
I mean, some people see a relationship as a paycheck.
Deborah does. There you go.
Good job.
I'm just saying, but it's not the right thing to do. I feel like she should also, you know, try and contribute. And maybe if they discuss, well, it seems like he's trying to discuss and she's not listening. Maybe she's open to hearing something else.
Because she even came out and she said, listen, I'm not a cheap babe. It takes a lot to maintain how I look.
I appreciate that.
You want me to look good? Yeah, fair. Good for you. So if you were able to do it for yourself before, maybe once in a while, keep doing it for yourself.
Maybe.
And then he can be like, hey, babe, don't worry. This week I'm going to like pay for your hair to get done, or I'm going to pay for your nails. I'm going to pay for your meal with your girlfriends at Hakkasan.
But that's not what she wants,
No, she wants it every time.
She wants it every time. Good luck to them. Let's see how it goes.
Good luck,
in the next episode coming out. Let's see how it goes. A lot of people came for her online because a lot of people think that her needs and not needs, her wants are outrageous, especially in this like 20-something that we're all in, like someone that is trying to build, trying to buy a house, a lot of people think
I mean, we're in the same, I'm not going to expose myself, we're in the same age range. You know,
we're all in our 20s.
We're all in the same age range. We understand how,
like, that seems a bit
life works now.
Ridiculous to ask. Not ridiculous, don't get me wrong. Ridiculous to expect from someone in the same age range. Period.
And that's why I always think, like, is it because we live in a society now where everyone flaunts their luxury so much? And he even brought up the fact that he doesn't like how she keeps comparing their relationship to her friends' relationships. And I feel like comparison is the thief of joy, as they say.
That's true.
and if you keep looking outside saying these people are doing that, these people are doing this, these people are doing, even with your parents, that's one thing that I was like, you really cannot compare the kind of love and provisions your parents give you to a relationship. It's a different kind of unconditional love in my opinion.
So many people can't make that distinction, that switch. They're like, if he's the man in my life, so my dad was the man in my life, this is the man in my life now, so you're going to have to take over and do what my dad was doing for me. That's not necessarily how it works. I don't really think that should happen. But here
I mean, if she compared it and said, this is how my father treated my mother, then I would understand it a little bit more, because that's like your first example of like love, right? You see whoever your parents or guardian is in a relationship with, that's like your first
But that wasn't what was happening. Probably not what was happening when her parents were starting out. Like, she's expecting it now, having grown up with a father that was established. You don't know when his humble beginnings were, if that was the case. I'm just saying she should be a little more understanding with Jamal, basically.
And I think just in general, anyone who feels that like in this like age, even like teenagers who are expecting this from like their high school boyfriends or girlfriends and stuff, that's the one that really blew me, because I'm like, you're 16. What do you need? Back, please explain it and explain it quickly.
That's like, but that's the culture rubbing off on them. I just
genuinely,
they probably don't even know. I don't know how to say that.
I don't even know.
It's just that's something they're going to hopefully have to grow out of and learn that that's not the way life works.
Adulthood smacks you really hard. Those responsibilities get to you quickly. They catch up. And when you're spending a whole paycheck to buy a bag to flaunt for someone else, like that's the thing. I think it's like understanding what is it for, like, and that's the therapist asked. Is it the item, or is it the act of giving you a gift, or is it like the price tag on the gift that matters more to you? That the higher the price tag, the more the more he loves you. And she said that it's kind of a mixture of both. That it's like, I'm getting a gift, and the higher the price tag, it means the more that he loves you. And I feel like that's where a lot of people's issues come into when they get into the financial situations, where it's like they're not happy with just flowers that they picked up on the grocery store because they were thinking about you. At least they thought about you.
At least they thought about you.
At least they brought you something.
There you go.
Like, I'd be fine if you thought about me and was like, maybe she's hungry, I'll get you a cheeseburger. Thank you. Because I forgot to feed myself. You know what I mean? You know?
I feel like a lot of women don't say this enough in relationships, but food will always...
They say that food is a way to a man's heart. I think food is a way to everybody's heart, okay? Feed somebody,
the woman,
and they will be happy.
It doesn't even have to be, let me not just go and cast myself. It doesn't even have to be like the most expensive thing. I like going out dining and all that. But if you literally pick up like just food and
you pay attention to the kind of food that I like and I enjoy, and you're like, oh, I know you like this restaurant, so I picked up your favorite.
For you. That's a love language. That's gonna be a good evening. I'm like, oh, okay.
Thank you.
But you know, Deborah wants bucket hat, so things are different.
I think it's just like a matter of who you are. Some people, like, it's the little gestures that really matter. Some people really love the grand gestures. Some people love a mixture of both. It's just understanding who your partner is, communicating that, and then if they answer, say, this is why I can't like perform up to those standards yet. I feel like it's also being like, okay, fine, I get it. It's not that I'm never gonna have this. It's just that right now we're in a space where we both, you know.
Or if you don't want to get it, you can make a decision if you want to leave. Like, if that's like a deal breaker for you and you're not, I'm not here to hustle with anybody. I'm made for the good life and I'm here for a long time. So please, like, if you want to leave and if that's your cue to leave, my dear, pack your bags. Do you.
Do you. And I'm sure that there are men out there who would, she's a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she is.
So I'm sure that there are men out there that would want to, you know.
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, now that you put this out there, you might actually get the type of person that you're looking for, and you might be able to get what you want.
That won't mind that you're a loud Nigerian too.
The shade.
No, I had to add that in there because I was feeling some type of way at you, Jamal. Okay, but even Jamal, like maybe there's a woman out there who's seeing like, oh,
Chioma
I like
is out there for
honestly, I was thinking the same thing.
Chioma is out there for Chioma will hold it down, will prop you up, she'll make sure you get that house and everything.
And Paul, who wants to flaunt for his high net worth
bring back the
individuals. He wants to be a provider because that's what his
want to be in the same room and show love and just like provide.
That's his job. He's a provider. That's it.
That's his job. Yeah. Provider.
That's what he adds on his resume. Provider.
What do you do? I provide.
Provider.
I'm like, sir, that's what you do?
Thank you.
Okay.
Provider.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of provider, Bill Gates, provider of all providers, billionaire Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. They are getting a divorce. Were you shocked?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Big Bill, I was shocked.
I was very shocked.
Not because I'm personally invested in their lives, because prior to now, like, they're just a headline, no offense. But they're getting, I feel like what I was shocked about is after 27 years.
Yes.
That's a whole, they're married for longer than some of us have been alive.
Mind you, the man didn't get married until his 40s as well. So it was like later on in life. Like
he was already like an established man before he got married. And I'm like, it goes to show so many. Money isn't everything. Can't really buy you happiness. Melinda needs to come and spill the tea, honey. She needs to tell us what happened.
Come tell us what really happened with this ex-girlfriend that he was going on getaways with.
Apparently that was like in the contract or something. Apparently. So, because it's not like allegedly,
like
actually,
business arrangement.
That's what I'm saying.
Like marriage is really becoming like business arrangements between people.
It's literal like contract, right? And first of all, I appreciate if that was true. Yeah, he was honest at least. He didn't go out. It's not like he's cheating behind your back. No. He's letting you know up front. Could never be me. I'm just saying. He's letting you know up front that this is what it's going to be. As long as I get this pass every year, every spring, I heard that he takes his woman, and they go every spring to go have
nerd talks about tech stuff.
She's also she might just be his type, right? Like this is like in England, Camilla Parker, and you know what? Everybody's. We're
not gonna bring them up because I have a soft spot for those couples, not in a good way. I feel I'm very sensitive to them.
But I'm just saying, if everyone is more honest, maybe things will work out a little bit. In this case, they didn't work out.
Sorry.
I want to know, after 27 years,
that's what a lot of people
you just be like, you know what? I'm done with this.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, when I see them, I don't see romance. I didn't see like in love. I saw like they work together. They have their foundation together. They give over $5 billion annually to like World Aid.
They're very big philanthropists, that's for sure.
Exactly. And I think that's why they put out the statement, because Sis had already shipped off to her private island.
Apparently.
Allegedly, sorry.
Her life is just, that's amazing.
You know
I wish I could have a bad day and just go to a private island.
Honestly though, a private island, like, oh, my man and I are having a fight. I need some space.
I need some space. That's a lot of space.
That's enough space.
I'm going to go to a private island to just sort out my issues. I like that.
But then it also brings up the idea of like this private island, like were there inhabitants before, you know, like another.
They probably purchased the island.
Because it's kind of like
all speculation. By the way, we ain't no Bill Gates, so we don't know. But like, it's probably, if Melinda Gates wants a private island, I don't think that will be too difficult to come by.
Of course. Hello.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. With like the children, the family.
Speaking of the children,
they're
apparently only getting $10 million in the divorce. I'm shocked because I didn't even know kids got money in divorces.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I feel like African parents need to take a leap out
you
of
know
that
what I
book.
mean?
Like,
I didn't know. Yeah, and people on social media were like, "Hey, if my parents were Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, and I knew I was getting $10 million, I would have helped him with the divorce.
Ooh,
I would have found the woman that he was cheated with.
But
I would have helped them sign the papers.
I'd have been like, get on with it.
Let's go. Run me the cash."
But the thing is, for such an empire that they built, $10 million each seems to be.
That's $30 million altogether, and he's like worth $130 billion so far.
Yeah, that's like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what he's worth. And I don't know if he's trying to teach them kids some type of lesson.
I mean, what kind of lesson are you teaching with $10 million? Something that some people don't even see in their lifetime.
It's not for you and I. I mean, it's like in their class, in their like, you know, $10 million might not be that much.
Yeah.
Well, it might be more than 10 million, and they're
That's
just
true.
telling us 10 million, you know? They don't really need to give us all this information.
No.
They're just giving us what they
I
want
don't know
us
why
to know.
they did either,
But someone raised a valid point about their relationship that when, because she went off to the private island with her kids, so she didn't go off by herself. And somebody was saying that when the kids take the mother's side, it's usually the daddy did something. So they're looking at him like, what did you do?
Billy, what did you do?
What did you do?
Let us know.
Let us know.
But maybe it's a case of, you know, children who are just closer to their mother just naturally gravitate
All
towards
three of
their
them?
mother. Child.
All of them?
I'm giving
Even
them
with the money at stake and everything?
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Well,
Maybe.
And they're grown too. They're adults,
That's
right?
true.
So it's not like
Oh,
they're
that
kids.
is,
They're-
yeah.
They don't know what to do.
But I mean, maybe they just wanted a private island getaway too. They wanted to join their
That's a
mother for a
fact.
really quick, and even maybe their relationship didn't end because of anything scandalous. That
Yeah.
they just grew apart
They
after
just grew
27
apart.
years. They realized all they really had was just like the foundation. And
I think they have more than that. But
well, I mean, like between them, like the
Yeah.
romance maybe had like fizzled.
Maybe.
But it brings up a lot. 27 years.
that I give it to them, to be honest, because I can't even think about like how that could have been.
Yeah.
What she's going through or he's going through
Yeah.
right now. What it could be. Spending that much time with someone. It's
It's a lot.
It's a long time. In my opinion, that was a successful marriage.
Yeah.
As successful as successful can
Especially
can
for
be.
like their net worth.
Exactly. High net worth.
High net worth individuals.
Individuals.
Yes, these are the individuals.
These are high net worth.
Follow.
Pause people.
You know he's a nutritionist and a personal trainer. Maybe you should call up Bill and
You
Melinda
should call
to
them
get
up
them
right now to
snap
get
back
them
ready,
snatched. Revenge
single, ready to
buddy,
mingle.
You know?
Revenge buddy.
Yeah, they need that. But I'm just saying, like, whatever happened between them, I hope they get to work it out.
Yeah.
I hope
it's like not a messy divorce.
Yeah.
For their sake, for their family's sake.
Good luck to them.
Yeah,
They
good
reach-
luck to them. I'm still stuck on the only 10 million. I'm sorry, I could never get over that.
Yeah,
I saw it,
I
was
feel like
wow.
that's there's going to be more. Like, is it 10 million, and then when I come to ask you for money, I can get money? Or
Yeah,
is it 10
I don't
million
think he'd
and,
ever leave his kids just. And also, their Gates
Yeah.
is Gates.
I know Gates. Yeah.
Like I mean, like they
Like
have
doors
that name.
literally open
Yeah,
for
the doors
them.
are really like wide open for them.
Yeah.
So I feel like they really, unless they're really irresponsible with like their funds and like
Yeah.
they don't.
So where's
you
the
know.
rest of the money going to go? If
I think
like,
foundations. I think he's
that's it?
very philanthropic and he wants to continue with that.
One of the children better be heading that foundation
Yeah.
because I don't know.
Well, we'd hope so.
Okay.
Keep it in the family, you know.
But let's see how
Good
it
for them.
goes.
Now, you had mentioned Camilla bringing up the royals.
I'm just saying.
So before we go, I want to touch on the fact that Prince William and Kate Middleton are now YouTubers.
Yes, about that.
So they're going to be influencers. What do you think
Pretty
about that?
much. First of all, again, I do not care so much for their lives. I'm just going to be really honest, and I feel like I speak for a few people that
Yeah.
are also in this situation.
In this room.
Before, like, I did not care for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're trying desperately to make this a relatable PR stunt or
Mm-hmm.
to just show that the royal family is moving with the times or something. I don't know. But I checked it out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, like, I'm like, what are we supposed to expect? There are 2 episodes where she's just reading, like she's, you know, talking to kids that are in the hospital and trying to recover. I'm like, that's very nice.
But that's what we also always see.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
can I see you like engaging with your kids? Like,
I'm
are we
like,
going to get the real
Are we going
vlog
to get the
lifestyle?
real?
You know what I
Like,
mean?
what's
Like-
the inside? What goes on inside? Like, what?
'Cause
Who's
what's
picking
the
your
real
outfits?
point
What
of it?
what
Yeah.
do you do with your children?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to have a YouTube channel, you have to make it as relatable as can be. Like, YouTube is very relatable. Otherwise, you could have done a documentary or something
you.
and sold it to some network.
Or just done another article, like done another
think,
BBC interview or
you
something.
know,
Like
something
I just
like that.
that we've been seeing all along.
But we shouldn't prejudge because like they haven't given us enough context to know if they're going to be that relatable. I don't think they would risk their, I don't know, image to be so relatable. I don't think they would go down to grassroots to be like, yeah,
Do they
I'm
even
cooking
know?
in the kitchen.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
no.
I don't even think she cooks. Maybe not.
Why would they?
Right.
But I just like wonder if this is part of, as you mentioned, like a PR stunt after the
Yeah.
whole situation with Meghan
Meghan
and
and
Harry.
Harry.
Like now they've really been on that like image rehabilitation situation
by all
for a
means
while.
necessary.
Yeah.
Even if the public can pick up on it, they're like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if Meghan and Harry didn't if that whole thing didn't snowball to what it is today, would you be doing the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Or is it just, it sounds very patchy. It sounds like PR's patchwork, and
they felt that YouTube is in now, so
yeah,
people are on
you know, YouTube is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know about that, but let's see how it goes. Because if they put out relatable, how is their content going to be relatable?
No, that was what I was going to ask you.
Who is going to relate to? Maybe there are other. Who is going to relate to their content?
I think you know what it is that people like still love the royals.
Yeah.
So any capacity that we can get them in, folks are gonna be like, yes, we're seeing a new side of them, even if it's not really that different of a side. Maybe it's like, you know, on the dice, it's like the 1 and then we see the 2.
Yeah. It's definitely some sort of distraction or cover up, or just to give them some.
I'm side-eyeing just a little bit.
I don't know why.
I don't fully trust them.
I don't buy it. It's definitely like after Meghan and Harry. This is definitely a cover.
It feels a little too soon after, especially. Like, it's a little too, like, okay, what should we do now?
It's rushed.
What should we do? Like, I feel like they hired a millennial or something on their PR team, and they said, like, maybe what's in now? Oh, yeah, we should get on Twitter? Because even they changed their Instagram handle to seem a little bit more, like, relatable. Down with the folks.
I don't think so. I don't think they're... Let's see how this goes, but I'm not that interested. But we know that people are following their story. There are people that are interested in the monarchy, and there are people that have just, I feel like the world has moved past their establishment. Let me not say what I
mean, I've said it on the show before.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've moved past like people seeing them as more than just the figureheads that they are.
Figureheads. That's what I feel. So if Meghan and Harry had a YouTube channel, I'd be interested.
I'd be down for that one.
I'd subscribe.
Because I feel like we would get the relatable
we would get
content.
the real, like we would, like we'll see. Yeah.
Is that problematic? Just a little bit. I mean, like, I don't know if I'll tune in. I'll have you tune in and pitch me in.
I'll pitch you.
Let me know what's going on there.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, thank you. We're going to start wrapping up now. So thank you for joining me on the show today.
No problem.
It's so much fun. We definitely need to do like these discussion chat ups.
I know.
More often. Yes. Stay tuned for that because they're definitely going to be coming back.
Definitely.
And with that, we're going to say goodbye to Chelsea and goodbye to you all watching and tuning in at home. Thank you so much for chatting it up with us today. As always, you know, you can keep up with the GBKM network by watching and listening live at www.gbkm.tv or www.gbkm.fm, where you can also download our app. It's completely free and available for iOS and Android devices, where you get the exact same features on our website on the app, and you get notified every single time we go live. If you are just tuning in and you missed the show, do not worry. You can check out the past shows tab as well to catch up on anything you may have missed. You can also follow us on Instagram at GBKM Network and Twitter at also GBKM Network and Facebook and YouTube at GBKM Network. You can follow me, your host, on Instagram and Twitter at TIS_Liz_O, and make sure you tune into the discussion on Saturday at 4 p.m. right here on GBKM. And with that, I'll catch you next week. Take care.
Jamal knows the type of girl that he got with. Like, I like looking good and I like the luxury brands, the Fendis, the Gucci's. The next purchase that I want Jamal to get for me is a Prada bucket hat. Like, he knows the girl he got with. I'm a female. You're my boyfriend. I expect for my boyfriend to look after me. Like, and that's just it. So you bringing this up is, you know,
Tell me,
I'm not really understanding.
When he gives you these gifts, what does that make you feel like?
I would definitely say, you know, I don't want to put a timestamp on like how often you should get me gifts, but I just feel like, you know.
Do you believe you could host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBKM Network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, @gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion into a career. Do you believe you could host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person